What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak your mind, sports talk. All right. The action was live this weekend. Look, man, we got some things to talk about this morning. We got good topics, good things to talk about this morning. A lot of things to talk about this morning. But this weekend, I'm going to start off this first by saying, what's up, everybody? What's good? Manny Pacquiao upset by Yordenis Ugas. Definitely going to talk about that. Tank Davis in the plane crash. I'm pretty sure all of you guys heard about that. Good thing is the plane didn't take off, so Tank's okay, but he was in a plane crash. We're going to talk about that this morning. Julio Ceja that just fought the Filipino breakout, Mark Magsayo, spent the night in the hospital after that fight, man. They didn't release him till he was planning on flying back to Mexico and, just going back with the family, but he had to stay in the hospital. Pretty brutal knockout he took. We're going to talk about that this morning as well. And Terence Crawford had some words to say to Errol Spence about missing out on the Ugas fight. Definitely going to speak on that. Definitely going to speak on Bud and the PBC. The PBC is giving us the best cards this year. Hands down. I can't, I've been saying this all year that the PBC has been putting on some fire cards, but, we're more than halfway through the year, guys. We're in August already. They're putting on the best fight cards this year, period. Hands down. No one, they're consistently giving us the fight card. They even made an apology about, and you know what? Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and make that the first topic. I'm going to drop this link in the chat too. Give y'all guys some shout outs. See if I'm going to invite up here. If you guys can come, cool. If not, cool. First come, first serve. So, see who we got up in the building. Intelligence. First up, Terrence fire shots. What did he say? We're going to get to that intelligence. What's good with you, brother? Thank you for coming through. Anthony Monsanto. What's good? What's good? Anthony Miamano. What's good with you? Andre Southgate. What's going on? What's good with you, Andre? Box fans. My man, box fans in the building. What's good with you, box fans? Always good to see you, brother. And this guy here, Kevin. Kevin, my brother, was good. Spence would have destroyed Pac if they fought. Hey, Kevin, you know what I was saying, right? Spence is my guy. Ronald Finkley in the building. What's good with you, Ronald? He said, Kevin, too early. Stop making me laugh. What up, Ronald? Your newfound Crawford fanboyism. I know what you all about, Ronald Finkley. Mikey Garcia was an epic weak fight. Mikey Garcia, the same Mikey Garcia that Terence Crawford never fought, huh? Ronald Finkley. Probably was Mikey's fault. Still, he never fought him. Think about that. Anyway, PBC, guys. We're going to talk about the PBC. Started off with that. And, all right, who gets the invite this morning? Let me see. And, guys, whoever I invite, this is only if you have time. You're not on your way to work. You haven't been able to, you can jump on with me. If you can't, no worries. Y'all know D. Jeff can hold it down alone. But I'm going to invite, let me see, somebody who's never been on here. Anthony Monsanto, if you would like to come up here and join your boy D. Jeff for the show this morning, you get the invite. And here it comes. There it goes. That goes out to you, Anthony Monsanto. That link is for you. If Anthony can't make it, guys, if he can't get on, that is an open link. First come, first serve. Only one person on the panel. Got a couple of people who sometimes I break the rules for, but I make the damn rules. I break the damn rules. Tony, what's good with your brother?
Hey, hi D. It's been a while, man. How are you?
Oh, been great, Tony. It has been a while. That's why I invited you up here, brother. We're gonna talk some boxing this morning. Thank you for joining me. So, the first topic we on this morning, Tony, is the PBC is giving us the best fights this year. I don't, look, I don't advocate for the PBC. I'm not a PBC lover. I'm not one of these guys. Oh, Al's great black businessman and all that. That's why we gotta support him. No, I'm not about all of that.
Gee, I have to push back on you. This card was more about Manny's promotion, not the PBC.
True. But this is what I'm getting at, Tony. The card was fire. Every fight was good. Even Guerrero and Ortiz. Every fight was good. The first two fights was absolute fire. So my point is that, and the PBC has been consistently doing this all year. They've been giving us good cards. They've not had like boring cards. And if you compare the PBC cards to the other cards, they've been doing the best job. Fish in the building was good. And that's pretty much what I'm pointing out. Of course, we do know, yes, Manny Pacquiao alone was who brought all the attention to that card. Nobody knew about this new Filipino standout, Mark Magsayo. No one knew about him. They didn't know that this fight, no one was even interested. I didn't even call the Ortiz Guerrero fight because there wasn't less interest. But these fights were good, nevertheless. They were good fights,
I thought Ortiz was going to quit. I honestly thought Ortiz was going to quit.
We did too. We was up here. I did that card, and we was like, "Yeah." Mark was saying, "Unrivaled was on the panel." Actually, I had an open panel. It was a lot of us on there. I was calling the fights, and they would speak in between. But Mark was saying it too that night of the fight. Like, okay, well, when is Ortiz gonna quit? Like, that was the assumption that he would quit, but he didn't quit. He actually thought he won at the end. It was a really good fight. It was close. But then the first two fights, both fights end in 10th round knockout, coincidentally. And they were both valiant fights up until the stoppages. Mark Magsayo, in my opinion, was actually losing to Ceja prior to him knocking Ceja out. So, and it was a
I understand what you're saying about the PBC. But like I said, I give more credit to Manny Pacquiao's promotion company than the PBC with this fight card last weekend than the PBC.
Well, I agree with you. I give Manny and his team and Manny Pacquiao's name, I give them all the credit for making, for the viewership of this card. If you understand how many people watched it. That was all about Manny Pacquiao. So we agree there. I'm not saying any of these other guys. No one, like I said, no one cared about Guerrero and Ortiz. And those were the biggest two names outside of Pacquiao and Ugas. So I agree with you there. It was because of Manny Pacquiao this card was viewed as much as it was viewed. So we agree there. But what I'm saying is they put on a hell of a show. And they've been doing it all year. They're putting on a hell of a show. It's not Manny's team that put those fights together outside of Ugas and Manny. It was the PBC that put those fights together. You understand what I'm saying?
I thought some of those fighters were fighting under Manny Pacquiao's promotion banner.
Mark Magsayo is a Filipino fighter. That's why Manny was so intensely watching that fight. But what the hell did Manny have to do with Guerrero and Ortiz? And what did he have to do with that first fight? It had nothing to do with them, is what I'm saying. That was the PBC event. Manny is Manny. His team is his team, but PBC is still a promotional company, Tony, a fight company. So they put on the fight.
I agree with you. I think the PBC has been more consistent with putting on Top Rank. I don't know what's wrong with them. And I'm not even going to bring up the Zone and
right. Golden Boy. Yeah, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Top Rank. No, PBC has consistently been giving us the best cards these years. I'm saying total cards. We can point out particular fights like Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. Yeah, that was a better fight, but we're talking entire cards. I've been more entertained by PBC cards this year than any other network. And if people don't fight that,
it's more about quality than quantity, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. And they and consistently, man, like when they put no cards, I've been enjoying them. Fish says, does this include Flores die? There you go, Fish. You starting early. Pacquiao leaving the ring after the fight, and everyone in the arena chanted, Manny, Manny, Manny. Remind me of the ending of Rocky Balboa when he fought Mason Dixon and everyone chanted Rocky. Hey, and then he came in with the Eye of the Tiger, Carlos. It's the Eye of the Tiger. I was hyped. I was like, oh, shit, man. He came in the Eye of the Tiger.
D, with the Manny situation, once he if he retires, do you think he retires after this fight, or do you think he has one more fight left in him?
I'm not sure.
As a boxing fan, would you want him to retire? As a Pac fan,
I think he should retire. Whether he's going to or not, I'm not sure. But we're going to get into that. We're going to let me make sure. We're going to get into that because that's one of the topics. So I'm gonna pause out on that for now, Tony, because that's one of the topics this morning. But yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. Perfect way to end a career, in my opinion. It's not all about the win. True. It's about the hero, die trying, giving it. Yo, well said. Well said. I say that this loss takes nothing away from Manny Pacquiao. Not at all. And to me, it actually extends his legend and what his legend is. And I'll tell you guys why. Manny could have taken an easy fight to go out. He could have taken an easy fight
like Floyd did with Gregor.
Like Floyd, exactly. Like Floyd. He could have taken an Andre Berto or someone like that to go out on. He could have done that, but he didn't. He took a modern day champion, a dangerous fight, right? At 42 years old. I think that this only increases Manny Pacquiao's legend. And he took his loss on the chin like a man, right? Like we don't see a lot of these fighters doing right now. The Lomachenko, my shoulder hurt. My shoulder hurt, right? The Deontay Wilder and the glove gate and all of this nonsense.
I brought this up on another panel. I'm not sure if you agree with this, D, but when I looked at this fight, it showed that Manny was worn down after all the wars he had early on in his career.
I do agree with it. And I actually put up some little clips and posts. I did a TikTok clip where I was kind of talking. It was D. Jefferson talking to G. Jeffries. It was pretty cool. But it was me and both of them. But I was
what was your opinion on Errol Spence winking after? Like, what was your opinion on Spence doing that on Twitter?
Pause on that, because that's also associated with another topic. So we're going to get on that too. That's going to be, we're going to talk
to Manny as well, because after that fight, he posted that directly after the fight ended.
Posted what?
The winking emoji on his Twitter saying like he knew this was gonna happen. Like,
well, look, okay, I'll speak on that. As a fighter, I see no problem with it. Because if you I don't think you've seen that clip I did, but if you've seen that clip where I was basically going back and forth with myself, it was D. Jefferson, G. Jeffries, just a little skit. G. Jeffries was for Ugas winning, where D. Jefferson was like, nah, Manny's going to take this. But the element was there. And I've been saying this leading up to the Spence fight, but I held the same perspective with Manny fighting Ugas. And I've been saying this the whole time, Tony. Ugas can win because Manny could turn old on us in this fight tonight, which I think that he did, because even Manny said, I'm not going to make no excuses. He gave Ugas all the credit, but he said his legs was not there like he was used to his legs being there. And so that's a part of aging. No fighter, I don't care how great they are, I don't care combat sport. If it's combat sports, no fighter
wins.
No fighter defeats Father Time. No fighter does. None. Okay? You're going to get too old to compete in this sport. Any combat sport.
I admit I was a Manny fanboy. D. I admit I was a Manny fanboy when in my head I was thinking he was going to... I give Ugas all the credit in beating Manny, but I was being a fanboy saying he was getting... In my head, saying he was going to knock out Ugas before the 5th round. I'm like, and I apologize to Ugas.
I don't think you were being a fanboy at all, fam. And here's why I say that. Manny is a great, an ATG, period. And so when he's elite, he's an ATG, he's just older. And so when you look at that, and then you look at your Dennis Ugas, right, who got rocked by Abel Ramos in the last 13 seconds of their fight, right? Abel Ramos is nowhere near a Manny Pacquiao. So for someone to believe that Manny could get in there and stop Ugas, we've seen Ugas hurt multiple times. That's not outlandish. I don't think that's fanboyism. I think if Manny's legs, were still there, it was a possibility of that. Maybe, but not by the 5th round, but it was a possibility of, him stopping Ugas. So not really a fanboy, man. Manny's an all-time great. And so, that's just how it is. Ortiz lost to Robert Guerrero, lost. Well, what are you talking about? Ronald, where do you be at? When the hell did I sit up here and say that Guerrero won, lost, or it was I didn't say anything about that. I don't know where you be coming from sometimes, Ronald. He said, PBC has done nothing this year. Okay, Ronald, you're hating. I'm not even going to read that, and I'm not going into that. You're just hating, bro. And you found this new love-hate for the PBC and Errol Spence and everything going on there. Ronald, don't revert back to your old habits. Remember, you were that guy when you were at the LDBC. You're not there anymore. So get that mindset out of your head, bro. The PBC has been putting on the best fight cards this year, period. You cannot argue that, Ronald. In total cards, the PBC has been doing the best fight cards. You don't have to like them. I don't like the PBC. But the truth is the truth, Ronald. Accept the truth.
Before the fight happened, D, what was your opinion on what was happening with Ugas' arm like that? Do you think that was a staph infection, or do you think that was just a missed injection of like a steroid injection or something like that?
I think that it's just aging. Ugas is no spring chicken either. He's going on 35 years old. He's out of his prime. Yes, man, he was older, but Ugas is no spring chicken. This is what happens when you don't recover the way you used to recover when you're in your late 20s and your 30s. You don't. Your early 30s, right? Those are the prime years. Ugas is out of his prime. So I think that the injury was just, look at how Keith Thurman started to break down. Look how Deontay Wilder is starting to break down. When you reach that age, you start to break down. Just that simple. And I don't think that it was an excuse. He won the fight. Ugas is, say what you want about Ugas. He's never dodged smoke. He's been calling all the smoke. So it's just one of those things. A lot of these fighters go into fights injured. And that just happened. Teofimo went into the Lomachenko fight needing the ankle surgery. Lomachenko went to the Teofimo fight needing a shoulder surgery, right? So this happens. This just happens. Aob's in the building. What's good, Aob's? He said, this is the way boxing works. The old lions get eaten up by the young. Yeah, Manny is still an ATG certified. Facts. Well said. Agree totally.
So you think Manny's the first ballot?
Let's go talk fight with champions. What you say, Anthony?
This is a question for the chat and you, D. Do you guys think Manny's the first ballot Hall of Famer? Yes.
Shoo in. I don't care who he goes in with. Who the hell is going to beat him? He's a shoo-in. First ballot. Two guys. Manny goes in. First ballot. Right off the bat.
This is my class for next year if Manny goes in right away. Manny, Vladimir Klitschko, maybe Floyd.
Floyd's in.
Oh, I mean Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yeah, I don't care who they put in there with Manny, bro. He's going to go. Because they're going to select more than one. You think Manny will get left out by anyone? No.
There's some voters in that.
Manny beats out
hatred. There's hatred. The media votes for the Hall of Fame. So, and I can't remember the guy who owns the Ring magazine has a huge bias against Manny. So,
but it's a whole board, though, Jeff. It's a whole board. It's not just one guy that decides. It's a board that selects.
No, that's what I'm saying. But there's other people that might have a bias against Manny.
Yeah, but more are not, bro. Manny's beloved. People hated Floyd. Manny was the one that was loved. He was beloved by the fans in the sport of boxing. So it's going to be some haters. There's always haters, but
it's the media it's
even the media, like, man, I don't know. I'll tell you like this, Tony. I don't see anyone beating Manny Pacquiao out of the Hall of Fame. Period, bro. I don't. The guys that would beat Manny Pacquiao out are already in. They're already in. So the people he's going up against, this dude was a champion in 4 different decades. 8 division. Something that's never been done. He's going in the Hall of Fame for sure. First ballot. Easy selection. I'm 100% confident of it. Carlos, oh yeah. He said Carlos for sure. Manny wife reminded me of Adrian or Rocky. Always worried. Yeah, Rocky versus Apollo was hoping he knocked out Ugas in the 12th. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Andre says Carlos did a video on my channel. Andre Southgate. Just respect to Manny, a legend for sure. All right, guys. So let's get it. JD, you just hold tight, buddy, because your conversation is coming up. We're going to talk about that conflict. Yes, JD. We're going to talk about it this morning, bro. Tone. What's up, Tone? Real quick, Tony. Hold on. Tone says, end of an era. Love watching Manny over the years. Great servant to the sport. Facts. Manny been on the decline for some years now, so I hope he hangs him up. Me too. Well said, Tony. Me too. And it's, again, I'm a huge fan of Manny. Manny has done great things for us.
And you know what affected him too, D? I'm not sure if you agree with this. He was so remember, he's running for president in his country too, so he has other stuff out of the ring that maybe he was focused. I'm not saying he wasn't focused on this fight, but do you think he was prepared for? He was training for Spence, not Ugas. Do you think the training?
Yes, someone mentioned that. I know where you're going with this. Someone mentioned that to me, but this is where I'll tell you the same thing that I told them, Tony. Manny was training for Spence, true. But when you look at Manny Pacquiao and the level of competition, the people he's faced, and then you look at Yordenis Ugas and the level of competition and the people that he's faced, right? You think about who would be willing to make a better adjustment on short notice. It would definitely be Manny. So we could talk about Manny having short notice, but you guys had the same short notice.
No, but people
the advantage Manny Pacquiao, not Ugas.
You bring that up, but there was actually I was reading an article or watching other people that say Ugas was already training for Manny ahead of time. He already knew Spence was.
That's absolute nonsense. That's absolute nonsense, and I don't even understand why anybody would say that. Because here's the reality: Ugas had a fight scheduled, and the guy had to pull out because he had suffered a bad cut in practice and sparring, and so Ugas was training for that fight. He absolutely was not training for Manny. Furthermore, Ugas has only fought 2 southpaws in his entire career, and neither of them were even close to the level of Manny. B-level fighters at best. How many orthodox fighters has Manny fought in his career? Again,
a lot.
Exactly. So when we talk about short notice, who's the higher level guy? The short notice advantage goes to Manny. It doesn't go to Ugas. It would be Manny that has the advantage to take a fight on short week's notice, not Ugas. So I've heard that about short week's notice for Manny, but that's advantage Manny Pacquiao in every form and facet, because it was Ugas who also had short notice. Both of these guys were training for other opponents. Manny was training for Spence, a southpaw, and he had to switch to an orthodox fighter. And Ugas was, I can't remember the guy's name. He was supposed to fight.
This is a boxing question, seriously, boxing question. For a fighter, is it easier to switch from training for from a southpaw?
Orthodox is easier all day long. Switching to a southpaw is more difficult, which is also advantage Manny. Southpaw fighters have notoriously been known to be difficult opponents. So again, that would be advantage Manny. And like I said too, Tony, Manny's fought way more orthodox fighters. So switching to another orthodox fighter, Manny even said himself, he's seen Ugas style plenty of times before. His legs just was not with him. G-Man boxing in the building was good, G-Man. Like I always say, if y'all ain't subscribed to G-Man, what the hell are you waiting on? What's good, G-Man? Got my man Shiz Biz in the building. Hold up. Andre says Ugas is no joke in my opinion. He beat Porter. Just wanted Manny to win. Yeah, the Porter fight was controversial, but yeah, I get you. Thurman, again, I think too many people put too much into the Thurman win and did not realize that this is once upon a time Thurman, which is something I've been saying since the Thurman fight. This is not Keith Thurman that we're accustomed to seeing. So shout out to Manny for beating him, but slow down on who else Manny could beat if you're putting that on the Keith Thurman fight. And we seen all of that last night. Let's be honest about this, guys. In the Keith Thurman fight, had Manny not knocked him down, he may not have even won that fight. Keith brought himself back into that fight, and it ended close. Without the knockdown, that could have been decision Keith Thurman. That's the truth. So, and I kept saying that the whole time. HLD in the building, mi hermano. Good to see you. All right, guys, we got to move on, Tony. We got to move on to the next topic because we've been on Tank Davis, guys. Tank Davis has been in a plane crash. Now, here's something that is interesting about this. The plane didn't take off, so it didn't get airborne before the crash. So Tank Davis is okay. What was funny to me though, and I was talking to Boxing Monster about this, Tank Davis just kept complaining about his ass was hot. Man, my ass hot. My ass hot. And I'm like, bro, okay, bro. Your ass is hot. But he must have said it like 20 times. Yo, my ass is hot. My ass is hot. Why you keep referencing your ass, pal? Well, get it. Stand up. But anyway, man, you know, I'm glad to see that Tank is okay, bro, because you know, I don't want to see any of these fighters get hurt, especially in a damn plane crash in their career. Tank's only 27 years old, man. He's got a lot of career ahead of him, and you know, but he is okay. He was in the plane crash, but I just thought that it was really funny that he kept complaining about his ass being hot. Hilarious, crazy how Manny actually working the day of the fight, interviews and all that Philippines work, you know. You should have let him fully focus on the fight. Well, I don't think that, you know, when you get to a certain level of stardom, Andre, and he is a superstar, that's just what's required of superstardom. Not to mention he's heavily involved in politics in the Philippines. There are a lot of Filipino fans saying, we love you, Manny, retire and pay attention to the presidency. And so with that alone, it seems that he will be elected to the presidency. And I always thought that if he would beat Ugas, he's going into an election. He was talking about fighting Spencer Crawford if they got past Ugas. He would have taken a loss, and I think that it would have been much worse. You know, get in there and fight Crawford or Spence. Yeah, Ugas ain't beating Crawford or Spence. Both of them beat him up, right? And so that man,
even Virgil beat Ugas.
Hold on, Tony. Hold on. That Manny Pacquiao has been out of the ring for 2 years fighting a Spence or a Crawford. I think it would have been a worse situation. So what was you getting ready to say, Tony?
You said Spence and Crawford beats Ugas.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that. But yeah. let's stay on.
I can add one more person to that list. Virgil Ortiz.
Oh yeah, Virgil. Boots may beat him as well. Boots Ennis may beat him as well. Yeah, for sure. But let's stick to the topic because we got an hour, and I'm gonna get off of Tank. I just wanted to bring that Tank up. Tank is okay, everybody. T20 in the building. What's good? And then hold up, BK. Is that BK? Hold up, Keith Silk Sheets Thurman.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Yep, Thurman. one may have flattened. Yeah, it would have. It would have changed the whole scope of things if Thurman would have been messing around with that belt because he got injured after the Pacquiao fight. So it's a good thing. Everything happens for a reason. How about Houses in the building? Tank loves when his ass is hot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, good Lord.
Hey, man, you guys are crazy, bro. HLD says Ugas didn't show up or display no elite crazy style that neutralized Manny. It was father time. Pac-Man fans acting like Loma fans with excuses. Yeah, that's it. It was father time. I agree with that. All right, guys, next topic.
Bud.
Oh, oops. We talked about that enough. My bad. Here we go. The next topic here is Mark Magsayo. This is Manny's. I guess this is Manny's guy. He's a Filipino, and during the fight they showed Manny he was intensely watching this fight. And Mark Magsayo, in my opinion, and most of the people that was watching the fight with me, he was down on the cards prior to this knockout over Ceja. But what I wanted to talk about, guys, was Julio Ceja, had planned to take a trip, fly back home to Mexico with his wife, but he had to spend the night in the hospital. That was a brutal knockout. He wasn't released until Sunday afternoon. They, advised him to go ahead and stay in the hospital. See, Magsayo, what you guys are seeing now, that wasn't the first punch that put this guy down. He hit him clean with a flush punch, and on his way down, he caught him again. That's probably what did the damage. So had a little swelling up there, and so they decided to keep him in the hospital. Do you guys think, because I was reading this article, do you guys think that this is the next Filipino star? I mean, we have John Real Casimero, but the Filipinos are looking at this guy, Mark Magsayo, as the next coming thing. I don't think so, because this guy, Magsayo, he was getting punished to the body by Ceja. And, I just think of guys that are more brutal with body punching. I think they get him out of there. I mean, he shows some power, definitely. He hurt Ceja a couple of times and eventually stopped him. But he was losing the fight. And Ceja kept catching him with a body shot, and he would feint a body shot and come up top. And he kept hitting him with that. Now, Mark Magsayo showed a good chin. However, with a more efficient body puncher, more powerful body puncher, I think he gets beat. I don't look at him as a second coming of Manny Pacquiao or anything. And to be perfectly honest, Pacquiao is a phenomenon, right? This is not something that you're going to. You don't repeat a Manny Pacquiao. He's one of the greatest ever for a reason, because that's not easy to repeat. So I like what I've seen with Mark Magsayo, but the second coming of Pacquiao, is this the guy that's going to take over the reins for the Philippines? I ain't too sure about that.
For me, I think it's more. I don't think it's Magsayo. I think honestly, I think it's still Casimero. I think it's Joel Casimero. Yeah. Well, I think that Casimero at this point is not too much. He's not a better fighter than Mark Magsayo. I have to be honest. Let me tell you something. I've said this about. I picked Rigondao to beat John Real Casimero. The fight was absolutely ridiculous. Neither of those guys did enough to win that fight. If it was a draw, fine. The fact that they gave it to Casimero, I'm fine with that too. It was a bad performance on both sides. But Casimero can't box, bro. He's not a good boxer. And old man Rigondao, who's older than Manny Pacquiao, let's remember this. He showed that Casimero is not a good. He had Casimero missing wildly and stupidly. Literally, the dude was swinging, losing balance and everything. I don't know what people think, but this is a 40-plus-year-old guy that you're fighting. You're supposed to eliminate him. Casimero showed no ability to cut the ring off. Again, Arrigo had him missing wildly. His instructor was giving him instructions on how to help him cut the ring off, shoot to the body. He kept abandoning that. Casimero's not a good boxer.
Nonito Donaire or Monster Inoue will knock him out. Guaranteed, bro.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, for me, I don't think the person to replace Manny coming out of the Philippines is even born yet.
Exactly. That I agree with. Neither of these guys are a replacement.
Maybe
for Manny.
Inoue might replace Manny as the next superstar out of that.
But Inoue's from Japan. Inoue's from Japan. Different nationality.
But what I'm saying in general, I think.
Yeah, but they're far apart, bro. But they're far apart. The Philippines is by Taiwan. Okinawa is Japan. Like, you know, Cambodians is probably closer to the. But if this total different.
But you understand what I'm saying.
They're all Asian, but they're different. It's a different culture. They're not even connected, fam. So Monster Nui is Japan. So it wouldn't. We're looking for another Filipino star, right? So Monster wouldn't even cover that. It would have to be Casemiro or this guy Mark Magsayo, and neither of them fit the bill. To me, neither of them fit the bill. You can't replace him. You can't replace a Floyd. You can't replace a. Hold on. This is what it is. It's like talking about replacing a Muhammad Ali, a Sugar Ray Robinson, a Floyd Mayweather, a Mike Tyson. You don't get fighters like this again. I don't care where you're coming from. America can't replace a Muhammad Ali.
And Oscar.
Right. Well, I mean, Mexico. Well, no, because Oscar's not the greatest Mexican fighter, in my opinion. Manny Pacquiao is hands down the greatest Filipino fighter. This is what I'm saying. So you cannot replace that. Oscar's not the greatest Mexican fighter. He's one of the best that ever did it, but he's not the best. Manny is hands down the best Filipino fighter and one of the best fighters that have ever graced this sport. For his country to replace that, a country that doesn't really exceed in sports at any level, for them to try to replace a Manny is like winning the freaking lottery, fam. You're not gonna get a guy like that again.
Yeah, man. Like I said, Manny's a once in a generation.
Once in a lifetime fighter. He's a once in a lifetime fighter. My man, Monkey Kung Fu in the building. What's good, Monkey? He said, I think Magsayo was feeling the pressure of the big stage. Yes, especially on the undercard for a Manny fight. Exactly. With more work, Mark Magsayo could be a great fighter, but there's never going to be another Pac. Well said. Monkey Kung Fu in the building. That's what I'm talking about, bro. You can't. That's just something that I don't even look. I'm not even looking for another Manny Pacquiao. I'm celebrating what Manny Pacquiao gave to us. I'm not looking for another Manny Pacquiao.
But that's a sad part. My generation, my younger generation of boxing fans are going to be looking for the next guy to replace a Manny Pacquiao already. That's the problem, and stuff like that. It's your generation that is okay with nobody replacing him. It's my generation that wants another fighter to replace him already.
Well, let me correct you. Let me correct you, my friend. And I am from the older generation, but that's untrue. I would like to see some of these guys step up and bring that glory back. I would like to see a replacement for Ali, for Floyd, for Ray Robinson, for Manny Pacquiao. No, I love this sport, Tony. So I would definitely love to see that. But these guys are not putting in the effort to get there. These guys are not doing what it takes. They're not going through the amateur ranks like they're supposed to. They're getting to the pros and they're chasing that bag. You understand? This is the thing. But would I like to see that? Would I want to see a replacement? Would I want to see another all-time great run through the sport? Hell yeah, that's what it's all about.
I think, honestly, if Canelo took it more seriously.
No, I don't care what Canelo does. He doesn't get to that level, period. I'm sorry. And I'm a huge Canelo fan. He'll never get to the level of Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck.
Even a Floyd?
No, I don't care what he does. The guys are not around for him to. That's the problem. He doesn't have the competition around him. Manny had the competition around him.
That's the thing we need to bring up. That's the thing we need to bring up.
But Tony, we can't go into that, bro, because that'll be too long. We're supposed to be talking. I gotta keep on track here. We got another topic to talk about. But I get where you're coming from. But it's like what Andre says here. Andre Southgate, great comment. He said, "There's only one Pac-Man, the people's champion, heart of a warrior." Right on, D. Those guys can't be replaced. Exactly. Like I would like Teofimo to be that, but Is he the people's champion? No, he's dicking around talking about who Devin Haney need to fight. Now, Manny would have said, oh, you think you can beat me? Come in the ring. Let's fight. You don't replace that. Teofimo talk about what Haney need to, and I'm a Teofimo fan. You guys know it. But he's sitting talking who Haney needs to fight. That's not the heart of a champion. You don't worry about who he's fought. If this guy thinks he's good enough to get in the ring with you and take your strap, you get in the ring and you beat him down and show him that he's not good enough. That's what Manny would have done. These guys like Errol Spence, axe out. Tyson Fury, you're a big dosa, and pulls out of these fights. The guys are not around. We don't have these guys around with that heart, with that desire to be great. This man took on a modern day champion on his way out of boxing. You can't replace that, bro. Manny is a warrior, a once in a lifetime fighter. And that's where I have to leave it at that, man. Javad, Hamad, what's good with you? All right, guys, let's get on to this. I saved a little extra time for this topic because I think we may get some back and forth here. My man JD in the building. Damn right. That's right, BK. There's only one Tyson Fury. Damn right.
Oh, good Lord.
Terence Bud Crawford. And I have to speak on this, guys. Right? Now, I'm usually always going at Bob. I don't really give Terence Crawford too much heat because, to be perfectly honest, man, I don't have anything against Terence Crawford. I'm a Spence fan, but, it's a whole lot of back and forth with these fans. Spence, Crawford, Spence. Me personally, I don't have anything against Terence Crawford. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's either number one or number two in the welterweight division. I believe he's the only one that can beat Errol Spence and vice versa. I have much respect for Terence Crawford. However, it was Terence Crawford who came out himself and said he's not thinking about Spence. He ain't worried about Spence. He doesn't care about Spence. Okay, fine. Makes perfect sense to me. You don't think about Spence. You shouldn't care about Spence. You've already done more in this sport than my guy Errol Spence have done. But Terence Crawford, you just exposed yourself as being full of it, right? And I'll tell you guys how. And Ronald, you listen up because you've been jumped on some damn Terence Crawford bandwagon here recently. Terence Crawford exposed himself and made a fool of himself with this comment that he just came out with after the Pacquiao fight. And it was on Boxing Scene, a trusted source. Okay. So Terence Crawford takes a swipe at Errol Spence, right? And here's what he said. I'm going to read it because I don't want to misquote anything. It's on Boxing Scene, guys. You guys can go to Boxing Scene, very trusted source. Quote, Terence Crawford, looks like Errol Spence is going to need me after all. Right? Okay. I know you're really mad about that fight last night between Pacquiao and Ugas because I was exposing himself, but not hating in any way, just a missed opportunity way. You see what I mean? Don't beat yourself up about it. Get well, champ. Crawford stated on social media. Now, here's where I'm going to. Dude, you say you don't care about Spence. You're not thinking about Spence. You're moving on. But yet, as soon as Manny Pacquiao loses to Ugas, you come out and talk about Errol Spence, the guy that you didn't care about, the guy you wasn't worried about. Now you want to say Spence needs you? The reality is Spence still don't need you, dude, because Pacquiao is pretty much probably going to be gone. If you think the PBC is going to give you the Ugas fight, you're delusional. And Bob Arum's not doing a damn thing for you. Spence comes back, beats Ugas, which I'm comfortable he will. Spence still has a lot on the cards. He has to move to 54. The Canelo fight is still being talked about. Even though I feel like Canelo will beat the hell out of Spence, why would Spence need you if he could fight Canelo? Like, seriously. But Crawford, you just exposed yourself because you came out and said you weren't thinking about that. You didn't care about that. And your post is not really about Manny Pacquiao and Ugas. It's about Spence. No. See, you do care about Spence. Spence is living in your head, bro, rent-free. And you've exposed that. And Ronald Finkley, JD, You Crawford lovers, Mar the Machine, who is not here, explain this to me. If he doesn't care about Spence, if he ain't thinking about Spence, if he ain't worried about Spence, why, after a Manny Pacquiao situation, are you talking about Errol the Truth Spence? And then he exposed himself and saying a missed opportunity. Well, why did you have that missed opportunity, Terence Crawford? Because Bob Arum lied to you and the whole boxing world. He didn't secure that Manny Pacquiao fight. He won't secure the Ugas fight. Spence don't need him. If anything, they do need to fight with each other, but Spence doesn't need him. Crawford don't need Spence for sure. He's already established Hall of Famer. He's going in the Hall of Fame. His legacy is staked in this sport. Crawford's great. He's a great fighter. So no, he doesn't need Spence the slightest. But Spence don't need you, Crawford. That's the thing. And you lied to yourself and your fans saying that you're not thinking about Spence, you're not worried about Spence. You've actually lied about that, and you've been exposed. And you exposed yourself by coming out with this. So now Ronald Finkley, if you got time, you can come up here and talk about that, because you've been on a whole lot of Crawford loving here lately. I didn't know where it's coming from, but you damn sure been down in the PBC and Spence. And JD, if you still in here, I think you guys had something to say about that. What do you think about this, though, Tony? This statement, I'll read it again right quick. Looks like Errol Spence is going to need me after all, though. I know you really mad about that fight last night between Pacquiao and Ugas, because I was. He was mad, because he felt like, see, Crawford seen that fight with Ugas and Pacquiao. He said, damn, I would have beaten Pacquiao. I would have gotten that torch passed to me, which would have been huge for Terence Crawford to get that torch passed to him. Let's be honest. Ugas didn't get any torch passed to him. Let's be honest. The torch passing, the whole process, the metaphor of torch passing, Ugas didn't get a torch passed to him. No one expects Ugas to go off to greatness after beating Manny Pacquiao. However, if Crawford would have beaten him, or if Spence would have beaten him, that would have been a torch passing ceremony. They like, oh, he beat Pacquiao, now he's going to continue. No one expects that from Ugas. Crawford knows what he would have done to Pacquiao. He knows. I always say Crawford.
I can give an unbiased opinion on this. I'm not a big fan of either Spence or Crawford, to be honest.
Right.
Both of them are talking so much trash. So to be honest, I don't care. They're both full of shit, to be honest.
I agree. I actually agree with that. They both are. And I've called my guy Spence out on it all the time. This man down, I'm my own boss. But every time you turn around, ask Al. Well, dog, you're not your own boss. Forget about the man down, because you're not putting men down. So, yeah, they're both full of it. That's for sure. And it goes along with what I was saying too, Tony, of why we can't replace a Manny Pacquiao. Because of this nonsense, the guys that are at the top, look at the nonsense they're doing. Look at the things they're saying. Crawford, no one cares really about your sentiment when you say you weren't worried, weren't thinking about, and didn't care about Spence. Why are you talking about Spence? The magnitude of Manny Pacquiao either winning or losing this fight. Manny Pacquiao is the situation. Not even many people are talking about Ugas winning. It's more about Manny Pacquiao. He's still great. So Manny Pacquiao clearly is the situation here. And you're talking about a guy who you supposedly don't care about, not thinking about, not worried about. That's nonsense. Full of it. He's totally full of it.
I understand he's not from the same region, but I think Virgil has the same mentality you're talking about with wanting to fight everybody. Virgil has that same mentality that Manny has.
That's true. But does he have it in him to do what Manny did? I don't know.
I don't know, but
it's way too early to tell for Virgil right now anyway. But the things that Manny achieved, bro, but he does have that spirit in him. I agree with that, Tony. He's ready to fight. I do agree with that.
The problem is, I don't think Terence Crawford thinks it benefits him to fight Virgil. That's the problem. I think he wants to fight Spence or Ugas, but I don't think those fights are ever going to happen. So I think Terence needs to realize he's probably going to have no choice but to fight Virgil.
Yeah, and they need to make this Porter fight happen before he fights Virgil, because I think he beats Porter. You know, all of these fools talking about him stopping Porter. Even a guy on Facebook I was going back and forth with talking about he stops Porter in the 5th round. See, this is Crawford fanboyism. But does he beat Porter? Yeah, I think Crawford's the superior boxer, and I do think that he beats Sean Porter. But I think he needs to put that Porter fight and then go to Manny, because you know he needs to fight a top 5 guy. Let's be real. Crawford ain't fought a top 5 guy in the welterweight division yet. So he needs to take Sean Porter and then go attempt to, you know, take another fight. But, you know, like Virgil, I think that would be a better path. Javad says Ugas deserves the win. Great for boxing. I think he does, man. He did a good job. Monkey Kung Fu says, to your point, D, this is what concerns me for the boxing world moving forward. Manny will always step up to the fight, and now I feel like it's going to be a lot more posturing, insults, and no fights. Well said, Monkey. And this is why it would be damn near impossible to replace a guy like that, because the element of competition, the level of competition is not around, but the desire, the will, you know, the gumption of these fighters is just not there today, man. It's just not there. And if you don't have all of those things at play, it's hard to see another fighter like Manny come about, bro. And then, you know, here's another thing. Manny had cameras in front of him. We have a lot of fighters in this era of boxing right now that I believe would and could get to that plateau, but they too busy with the cameras on Deontay Wilder and Spence and you know, Tank Davis and Teofimo and Ryan Garcia, who's not done a damn thing. That's where the cameras are. The cameras are not on the greats.
Devin Haney.
The guys that's, you know, Devin Haney and all of this nonsense. These are where the cameras are. This is where the attention from the boxing world is going to the guys that don't deserve it. The guys that don't deserve the attention, right?
The guys that need the attention are the guys we're talking about. A guy like Virgil, a guy like Navarrete.
Emmanuel Navarrete, who's fighting more. He's the champion fighting more than anyone. Any other champion, even Canelo. Emmanuel Navarrete. But where the cameras at, bro? Where the cameras at? Look at what Nonito Donaire has done for us. Now, he's no Manny Pacquiao, but this dude is a freaking Hall of Famer and potentially an ATG. If he was to beat Monster Anoy, that would be massive. He would actually deserve to be called an ATG. Will he? Will Nonito Donaire be called that? If he was able to come back and win against Anoy? I doubt that people will give him that credit. And that's the problem with this era of boxing. The focus is on the wrong guys. It should be zero focus on Ryan Garcia. With what Virgil's doing over there, why is the focus on Ryan Garcia? Come on, bro. Their game boxing was good. Why is all of this? Why is Gatorade going toward Ryan Garcia? He's doing nothing. He's ducking fights. He ducked Devin Haney. He messing around talking about he needs a mental hiatus and he's out partying and on the beach chilling. Come on, bro. And all of the cameras are on Ryan. When we just look at Golden Boy, where should the cameras be? Should they be on Ryan or should they be on Frank Sanchez and Virgil Ortiz?
Frank Sanchez and Ortiz.
Thank you. But it's not. And that is a big problem with the sport today. That is a huge problem. Javad says, I want to see these young kids go chase Lomachenko. That's what. But they're not going to. You know, Devin should have fought Lomachenko instead of Linares. I said that back then. He had the opportunity. You didn't have to take the Linares fight. But Bill Haney, no, Bob Arum, the lion Bob Arum. Bob Arum said, if we fight. And I told Bill back then, I said, oh, and you're going to believe Bob Arum? Yeah, right. Okay, Bill. Well, he fought him. Bob Arum said, if you fight Linares, you get Teofimo. Are you getting them, Bill? No. But he had the opportunity before Masayoshi Namatani to get Devin Haney in the ring with him. That's the fight he needed to take, because if Devin Haney would have beaten Lomachenko, that propels him, right? He didn't take it. Beating Linares, getting rocked, right? People were dumping on Devin Haney for that fight. But if he would have gotten rocked by Lomachenko but still beat him, no one would have dumped on him, because he still would have beaten Lomachenko. These guys are making the wrong moves. They're chasing money instead of chasing legacy. And if you're not going to chase legacy, you're not going to be another Manny Pacquiao, period. And this is what I was. Remember when we were talking about this? I think it was a few streams ago, and I said this is a dream fantasy world. Boxing needs an overarching body to control these promoters and stuff like that. That's what's happening. But it's never going to happen. To control the promoters, to regulate the sanctioning bodies, it's regulation. This sport needs to be regulated. And I hate for the government to get involved in things, but John McCain said it, before his time was called. But John McCain was trying to get this done. This sport of boxing needs to be regulated because it's too much corruption involved at too many facets, not just promoters, not just sanctioning bodies,
referees, judges.
Managers. We just seen the whole WBA debacle, right? It's too much corruption in boxing from too many angles. When the government gets involved and the feds get involved, then all of these criminals, the criminal element, they slide away, because none of these guys want to go to jail. Your money is not going to buy off the feds. They will lock your ass up. And that's the problem.
Funny thing, isn't that what shadow boxing was? And then we talk about that. Then we say the shadow boxing investigation made the corruption even worse. It just brought it out.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that, right? G-Man says Crawford versus Porter is a good fight. Can't see Crawford stopping him, but I pick Crawford. Yeah, me too, bro. Definitely a good fight. I think that people are underestimating Sean Porter, but then they're also overvaluing what Crawford has done at 47. He's not been in there with a tough opponent like Sean Porter yet. He's been in there with guys that may be able to box a little better, which I would give Jose Benavidez, and maybe just Jose Benavidez as far as being a better boxer than Sean Porter. You could argue Caio Velasquez, but the durability, the toughness, the making the fight tough, Sean Porter is probably number one in the welterweight division for that. He's going to make the fight tough for any of these guys. So Crawford, Porter is definitely a good fight. I definitely agree with that.
We're overestimating how powerful
Frying Garcia.
What is it called? We're overestimating how powerful Crawford's punches are actually. It's like Haney. Haney fans are overestimating how powerful he actually is.
Yeah, he has no power, right? But yeah, you're right with this because it's the stoppages. See, they are overestimating Crawford's power, and I've been saying this. It is a big difference. What Mark Magsayo did Saturday night, that is a knockout. A TKO, and now let's look at what Mark Magsayo did, and let's look at what Crawford did to Caio Velasquez. After the second knockdown, and they waved the fight off, Caio Velasquez got right back up on his feet. That's called a TKO. When Crawford knocked out Jeff Horn, he was stumbling around. The referee came in and hugged Jeff Horn. That's a TKO. When he stopped Amir Khan, he was terrified, didn't want to continue, but that was a TKO. When Magsayo stopped Ceja, that's a knockout. It's a difference between a TKO and a knockout. It's a difference in the display of power of a TKO and a knockout. Yes, they're both stoppages, but one says that you have more power than the other. And this is where fans get it twisted, because they're looking at Crawford. He stopped everybody at 147 and you disrespecting his power. No, I'm not. And I do agree he stopped everyone. But how did he stop everyone? Did he knock them out or did he get a TKO? TKOs, that does not show power. Put somebody to sleep. When you put somebody to sleep and they got to assist you to get up and wake up to even put you on the bench like like what we seen with Ivan Barancek, like what we seen with Leo Santa Cruz, like what we seen with Dillian White, those knockouts mean a whole lot more than Terence Crawford having someone stumble around the ring. And that's where people put too much into his power, because he's stopping guys, but they are TKOs, not knockouts. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take it a step further. When you look at a common opponent, Virgil Ortiz, Terence Crawford, and Egidius Kavialaskas, when Virgil Ortiz stopped Kavialaskas, he put him down 4 times. And the last time he put him down, when the fight was waved off, Kavialaskas was sitting on his ass. He did not get up. But I just said, when Terence Crawford stopped him, he only dropped him twice. Kavialaskas jumped right back up, and they waved it off. Now, who would you say in those 2 stoppages displayed more power? It would be Virgil. And then even Kavialaskas said that Virgil has much more power. Not more, much more power than Terence Crawford. Stop it, guys. Terence Crawford is a great boxer, but this power trip that everybody's on because he has these stoppages, nonsense. Brook was broken down. He was broken down by GGG. One side of his face gone. Spence finished him off on the other side. And then he was drained way the fuck down when he got in the ring with Terence Crawford. And he stops him. That displays power? No, it doesn't. Amir Khan was chinny as hell. Everybody knew that going into the Crawford fight, and he was terrified to fight Crawford. That displays power? No, it doesn't.
We were talking about the TKO. A knockout is when you knock, like you said, a TKO is an accumulation of punches, basically. A knockout by an accumulation of punches.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. It's different. It's definitely different because you're wearing a guy down. You're beating him down. Ronald Finkley, get him killed by who? This is what I want to ask you. Get him killed by who? The car didn't kill him, you idiot. And then he came in and fought a top 5 fighter and won. So who are we going to get him killed by? We're just talking about Crawford's power now. So this is another guy that he's not been stopped. Spence has never even been put on the freaking canvas, Ronald Finkley. Who are we going to get him killed by? Stop being an idiot, bro. Stop this Crawford fanboyism, Ronald. You like way left with this.
I'm being honest with Spence too. Honestly, some of his fans overestimate Spence's power as well. Am I being harsh on Spence? Or does he?
No, his power is overrated. Yes, his power is overrated. His power is overrated. He's a fighter that breaks guys down. He's not a one-punch knockout artist. So yes, idiotic Spence fans overrate his power. Clearly, yes. Ronald, you're continuing to be an idiot. A healthy Spence couldn't knock down Mikey. Didn't a healthy Spence knock down Sean Porter? You idiot. Who's tougher at 147? Sean Porter or Mikey? Didn't Spence knock him down? Shut up, Ronald. Like, dude, stop it. Stop it with the hate, because this is one of those comments. You're going way back to Mikey fight. He's fought twice since that, bro. 2 tougher guys. Think about it, Ronald. So he didn't knock down Mikey. Even though Derek James and Errol Spence told you that the plan was to go in there and do what a lot of you haters was saying he couldn't do. Don't you realize there was a lot of people saying no way Spence could outbox Mikey because he doesn't have that? So he went in there to prove something. I think that that's an issue with Spence, because you shouldn't be trying to prove anything to fans and naysayers. What you should try to be doing is winning the fight, right? You should get a game plan and win the fight. So he should have went in there and started attacking Mikey Garcia like he attacked everybody else that he stopped. But you don't pay attention, Ronald. Did he start that fight fighting Mikey Garcia like he fought all the other guys that he stopped? No, he didn't. He started that fight boxing from the outside. The first 8 rounds, he was boxing, showing that he could outbox Mikey. But that is not how Spence put guys away, Ronald Finkley. The way Spence put guys away is from round 1, he comes in there, he starts tearing them down to the body, and he breaks them down, and then he puts them away. That's how Spence puts guys away. But he never fought Mikey like that. But you guys want to ignore all of that. And you want to say stupid comments like this. He couldn't even knock down a Mikey. But he knocked down a Porter, didn't he? Didn't he knock down Porter, Ronald? No, you're drowning because you're an idiot right now. You didn't even address the Porter. Didn't he knock down Porter? So you could say he couldn't even knock down Mikey, but didn't he knock down Porter? Thank you. right? Like, come on, man, stop the hate. I don't hate on Crawford up here.
Can you put Ideologue's comment up, D, for a second?
What's
the
that?
One that's directly under the first comment from Ronald that you had up.
Who said it? Who said it?
Ideologue.
Okay, hold on. Keem, what's good? What's good, Keem? Keem in the building. It's been like 10 fighters since he's had one TKO.
No, it's the one that says, bro, you're trying to so hard to discredit.
150 was good. Okay, this one. He said, you try hard to discredit Crawford. Dude has 28 KOs. Okay, I guess we have another idiot in here. He doesn't have 28 KOs. I just spent all this time breaking down the difference between a TKO and a KO.
A TKO is a stoppage, not a
knockout, not a display of power. You can get TKOs in many different ways, King. Did you not just hear what I broke down? So your comment is already wrong. Go look at Crawford's record, you idiot. He doesn't have 28 KOs. A knockout, the guy doesn't get up. He don't make the 10 count. It's not a ref coming in there hugging him like he did Jeff Horn. Don't be an idiot here. So how am I discrediting Crawford? By telling the truth, King. Explain this to me. 150 was good. He said Bud not moving to one. Hell no, he ain't going to no 168. Bud will get killed up there. But back to you, King. And I got to get ready to leave here soon. I want you to explain to me, how did I discredit Terence Crawford? How did I discredit? Is the truth discrediting? That's what you call discrediting the truth? Is that what you're saying, that I'm discrediting Terence Crawford by telling the truth? You just told a lie, basically. He doesn't have 28 TKOs. That's a lie. I mean, KOs. It may be listed up there. Oh, go to BoxRec. It says 28 KOs on there. Yeah, that's because on BoxRec, every stoppage they put up as a KO. So, but here you go. Let's do this. Let me stop talking about it and let me show you, you idiot. Look, right at the first three, before I even scroll down, guys, what does this say? TKO, TKO, TKO. You get it, King? Or do you want to continue to be an idiot? What does those three, what do they say? TKO.
technical.
Right? Technical knockout. Stop being an idiot. Period, guys. This is not hate. I'm only telling the truth here. Of course, this is what Keem is talking about. This is what Keem is talking about here. All right? It's right here. 28 KOs. Okay? But again, if you scroll down, look, I started with 3. Now I'm going to go to 5. TKO, 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 TKO. All 5 fights, which I do believe that this one should be a KO because he knocked out Benavidez. Benavidez did not make the count. So that should be a KO. Julius and Dongo, that should be a KO. But still, out of your last 6 fights, if you go 4-2 with TKOs, not KOs, that's not discredit, you idiot. That is the truth. And this is what you guys need to stop, with the hate and the look at it from boxing, bro. Just look at things reasonably, and then you can assess things better. Tank, what's good with you, Tank? He says the referee saves the fighters from getting knocked out. That's that. Okay, again, that's idiotic. Sometimes the referees step in there because they won't get knocked out because these fighters won't allow themselves to get knocked out. Example, Jeff Horn, Tank, you idiot. Crawford could have kept punching Jeff Horn all around that ring, and he was just going to keep stumbling and looking stupid. But that's the type of thing that gets guys killed, right? Because they don't want
too much pride,
and they keep getting their head injured because they're taking unnecessary punishment. But they're not going to go down; they're going to keep fighting, and you can kill yourself that way. Your brain starts hemorrhaging, but still, they weren't going to be knocked out. So the ref jumps in their tank to save them from themselves because you're not going to win this fight. You could possibly get killed if you keep getting punched like this. So I'm going to jump in here and stop the fight. It's called safety, you idiot. It's not called, oh, I'm stopping it because he will get knocked out. It's called safety measures. We don't want to see guys die in the ring like Maxim Dadashev. He wasn't going to get knocked out. you idiot. He was going to die. And unfortunately, he died. Don't be idiots here, guys. Seriously, I don't hate Crawford. I'm only telling the truth about things. That's it. If you can't accept the truth, Keen, Ronald Finkley, Tank, if y'all can't accept the truth, that's on y'all.
CD, I'm wondering if you agree with me. Do you kind of wish when they do these records, they separate stoppages and KOs instead of combining them on the record?
But they don't. They don't, though. That's the problem. This is where people like Keem and them get confused because they don't separate them. When you see the record, it says 28 KOs. They don't separate them unless you go down and you look.
What I'm saying. You kind of wish boxing separated stoppages.
No, I don't care. Me personally, I don't care because I take the time to think about things reasonably and understand. If you're gonna be an idiot out there and you want to look at it that way in that perspective, that's your prerogative. Opsec says exactly, D. The fighter won't go down. Yeah, and they are merciful stoppages. Thank you. A mercy stoppage which is exactly what I called the Jeff Horn stoppage. That was a mercy stoppage because they can't defend themselves and they could be killed. Not the fact that they'll just get KO'd. You guys are not thinking. And what the hell does that have to do with me hating Crawford? Like, come on, bro. I don't hate Terence Crawford. You know who I don't like? Bob Arum. So I give a lot of heat to the top rank, and it may be concerning Crawford, but it's Bob, bro. It ain't Crawford. I got no problem with Terence Crawford. That's it. And look, here he is, the Crawford fanboy Spence hater. Why Errol strap season stopped so abruptly? Ronald, I've already spoke about that. That's why you don't even listen. I just gave Spence heat for that on this live, bro. I'm getting ready to shut it down, bro, because I'm not going back and forth with y'all right now. Because y'all don't make sense. Like, I'm only here to talk boxing that makes sense. If y'all gonna keep coming with this nonsense, it's time to end the show anyway. So, Ronald, Keem, Tank, you guys think how you want to think. But if you keep a simple fights like that, especially you, Ronald, you need to start looking at things differently, Ronald. And I'm gonna call you out on this because this is why you get so many damn fights wrong in the prediction league, Ronald. Because you don't want to listen. Bro, I'm giving you all the game. If you start looking at these records and you scroll down and stop with all of these idiotic perceptions and you look at these guys' records and see, oh, yeah, he stopped them, but it was just a TKO. Then you can assess the power differently. Then you can assess, Ronald, what they may do to their opponent. Then you may get more fights right. But if you keep going and looking at these fights and assessing them, the way you're doing right now, you're going to stay at the bottom of the prediction league, Ronald. You're not going to get these predictions right because you're not looking at this sport correctly. So think what you want to think, fam. Think Crawford has all the power in the world. So be it. So be it, Ronald. Do you. When he doesn't stop Sean Porter, then you're going to be looking stupid. That's all I'm going to say. When he doesn't stop Sean Porter, you're going to be looking silly. Just that simple. He's not fought anybody with a chin or durability like Sean Porter at 147. Not even close. He's not fought anyone. Calvi Alaskis, none of them have the chin or durability of Sean Porter. None of them. Sean Porter's been dropped twice in his career. Both were flash knockdowns, even with Spence. When Spence knocked him down, Porter jumped back. That's all right, come on. That's called a flash knockdown, you idiot. And that's the only 2 times Porter has been stopped by flash knockdowns. And Crawford is just supposed to come in there and stop him in the 5th? Are you people serious? Come on, bro. Come on. Anyway, let's have a funny clip, man. I didn't load a funny clip this morning, so I'm going to show the donkey clip again. This was hilarious, bro. I always say this, guys, and this is how we're going to end it. If you start your day off with a good laugh, you have a good chance the rest of the day being really good. If you don't start your day off with a good laugh and you come in this platform and we have a good laugh at the end of this show, it can also make you have a good day for the rest of your day. So at the end of these shows, I'm always going to show a funny clip. I didn't load one this morning. I got a load of them. So I'm going to show the donkey clip over again so you guys can laugh. This is hilarious, man. Pitbull touches a gate and the donkey, and it's an electric gate, and the pitbull touches it, And the donkey literally laughs at him, fam. Y'all watch this. Gonna have a good laugh.
I think I've seen this one. I know the one you're talking about. Oh my god.
Absolute prices. I can't get enough of that, man. And damn donkey is just laughing his ass off. That donkey been hit by that fence plenty enough times. Hey, y'all know how I always in this thing. Hey, Tony, thank you for coming out with me, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ronald, with the
are you having another show?
Yeah. It's over with, man. Yeah. So appreciate you, Tony. Appreciate all you guys. We end that show with a laugh. We're going to end every show with a good laugh. And y'all know how I always end this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.